Hey, everyone. It's us again. We're here. Water Wednesday.
Whoop, whoop.
Hey. Woo! Another great Wednesday. Yes,
Yes,
the weather looks nice outside.
it is.
Unfortunately, this realtor did not even get out. She just worked real hard in the house.
See what we do for y'all? See?
Right. So it's me, Dion Branch, with Real People Realty, and I have my host. I keep pointing the wrong way.
And I don't know which way to wave my hand either. You know that, right?
Right. So,
Hey,
guys, so
everybody. It's Lisa the Lender, the House Money Mama from Geneva Financial. How y'all doing?
right. But today, guys, we always got to bring us a special guest, right? Somebody because sometimes Lisa and I don't have all the information, so we bring you guests that can share with you everything that you need to know. So today we're bringing you Curtis R. Monday, and he is a real estate investor. So thank you, Curtis. Welcome.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you,
Welcome.
John. Thank you.
Right. So Curtis, you can tell us a little bit about yourself as far as what you're doing in investment.
Sure. I like to describe myself as a bona fide hustler. I'm born and raised in the South Side of Chicago. Born and raised. I'm a State Farm agent by trade. I have an insurance agency, the Curtis R. Monday Insurance Agency out in Hazel Crest. But I'm also a real estate investor. I've been a real estate investor since 2001. Two radio shows that I do on WVON 1690. One is the Urban Business Roundtable, and the other
Okay.
is C Clips, which is also a real estate investment show. So if we're talking, I love entrepreneurship overall. I think that African Americans have a unique disposition to be successful in entrepreneurship. If the rules are level, fair, understandable, we can thrive. We have a natural innate ability to hustle and work hard. And given the right resources, we can be successful. So real estate investing is one of the things that I've chosen as a different revenue stream for me. So I've been real estate investing since 2001. Now, ladies, I would like to tell you that I had it all figured out when I started real estate investing. That is not the case.
Right.
I bought my
Who
I
does?
bought my first piece of property. Yeah, it just, but it made sense though. You buy a piece of property, the mortgage is $1,600 a month. I can rent it out for $2,100 a month. I can
Mhm.
walk away with $500. So I bought my first piece of property, which was a two flat in Roseland. I had no
Mhm.
systems. I didn't know how to vet contractors. I knew nothing about comps. I just luckily found a piece of property and just used some common sense, and it kind of made sense. And that's where I got started with my real estate investment career.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes. And I
Common sense
know.
will
I
take
mean,
you
there's a
far.
lot of people that's out here. They start out with thinking one property, and then sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But it doesn't mean to give up. It just
Correct.
means that you need to learn a little bit more, right? We need to right get some
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
education in it. Mhm.
And one of the things I teach, I wrote a book called The Game: How to Become a Successful Real Estate Investor, and we
Yeah.
turned that book into an 8-week course. And one of the things I teach my
Nice.
students during the 8-week course is about this whole notion of fear. A lot of individuals are afraid to get in real estate investing because they're fearful of the potential outcomes. So I teach my students how to debunk and take the power out of the word fear. So first of all, we fear the unknown, right?
Mhm.
We're fearful about the things that we're not sure about. And so in the class, we teach them best practices and strategies for real estate investing. That
Mm.
creates familiarity. That familiarity eliminates fear. The second thing is I have to reprogram their minds to let them know that if you make a mistake or you do something in real estate investing, it doesn't mean you can't come back from it. I think people think that if you make a mistake in real estate investing, it's going to be this catastrophic event that's going to put you in the poorhouse forever. And that's not the case. Can you lose money? Yes. Can you get your shirt handed to you? Yes. These
Yes.
are all true. That's the truth. But if you learn good strategies, best practices, methodologies that help you be successful. If you do make a mistake, it can lessen the impact. And what I try to teach you is that real estate investing, becoming good at it, it's about making those mistakes and having those missteps because that's how you learn, right?
Yeah.
You make a mistake in real estate investing, I guarantee you will not make that mistake ever again, right? Because you've been through it. So mistakes are things we can come back from. We eliminate the fear of unfamiliarity by ingratiating you with best practices and good systems.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, I agree with you because I know there's a lot of people out here that want to be investors, but they're just kind of like, they don't know where to begin. Last week, Lisa and I, we talked about the financial piece of it,
Yeah.
but where do you get your money from? Like, how are you investing? Like, how do you start out?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest misconceptions for early individuals who are looking to get into real estate investing, they're concerned about where in the hell they're gonna get this money from. You
Yeah,
may
Mhm.
say a property costs $60,000 and it takes $100,000 to fix it up. So they're thinking, I don't have $160,000 to be able to start to invest. So the word that I introduce students to is this word called leverage, right? Leverage is something that the wealthy have mastered and the rest of us are trying to catch up. Leverage is the ability to use other people's resources financially that are greater than your own resources to allow you the ability to scale up. Now, where do you find leverage? Where do you find other people's money? We know that was a song back in the day and I'm dating myself, when I was in high school back in '93, called OPP, right?
That's right.
I
hmm,
Yeah,
teach my
you know
students,
me.
yeah, you know me, right? So I teach my students OPM, other people's money. Leverage
right.
is just about using other people's money to do real estate investment. And so there are different sources for leverage. So source number one, it can be probably the real estate investor's best friend, a hard money lender, right? these are
Hmm.
these
That's
are
perfect.
entities that right. So these are entities that are looking to do deals with real estate investors. And a lot of times with real estate investors and hard money lenders, they require you to put a portion of the down payment down. So instead of you thinking that you have to use your own money and come up with everything for the purchase price and the rehab, when you use leverage and you're using like a hard money lender in this example, you only have to put in maybe 10 or 20% of the purchase price. And they'll
Hmm.
oftentimes give you 100% of the rehab costs. In fact, I don't want you to ever use your own money to real
Right.
Mhm.
estate invest. Let's use an
Okay.
easy example. Let's say I got $100,000 and I'm looking to buy single family houses at $25,000 a pop. If I had $100,000 and I'm buying single family homes at $25,000 a piece, that means I can buy 4 properties. You with me?
Yeah.
But if I use leverage, if I find like a hard money lender and I still have that same $100,000 and I'm still targeting $25,000 single family homes, the hard money lender may say, you know what, you have to come up with 20% of the purchase price. So that means I have to come up with $5,000. With that same $100,000, with using the hard money lender and this thing called leverage, instead of me having 4 houses, now I can get 20 houses. five
Okay.
thousand
Mhm.
dollars a pop in terms of my down payment, and I have 100K. That's how you gain scale. So again, how do you find money? If you use leverage, hard money lenders can be one. Another one can be private money investors. We know this. We watch HGTV. We see the little white girl, the little white guy, right?
Yeah.
They go see a property, they get on the phone, and then magically they rehab and they got some bread. Well, the guy that they're talking to on the other end, he has what we call in the south side of Chicago a bag. He got a bag, right? And he's funding their real estate investment initiative. So another way for you to find your money is to find investors, right? And I know
Hmm.
what individuals are thinking. If I've never done this before, who in the hell is going to loan me some money to do a project?
Right.
Well, if you vetted the deal, if you're educated about the process, if you educate investors how you're going to protect their money, hold true to your promises, show them you have an exit strategy, you will find out that people will in fact loan you money to do deals. And keep this in mind. Everybody had to start out somewhere. Everybody had to get at least one investor to believe in them and give them an opportunity. So when you think about it from that perspective, that's the way. So that's just two quick ways to find money for your deals.
Right.
There are a lot of different other ways, but that's two ways.
So we got a couple of questions.
Yeah.
So Yolanda, you already answered Yolanda's question about hard money, but she also asked, do you have to have good credit in order to for hard money lending or for investing?
When you're real estate investing, credit is different than when you're trying to buy your own private residence or your own primary residence. When you're trying to buy your own primary residence through like a conventional lender, they're concerned about things like debt to income ratios. They're concerned about your credit score. On the real estate investment side, they're more concerned about the deal and less about your credit. Now, that's not to say that credit doesn't have an impact. Credit does have an impact in real estate investing, but not as profound as if you were buying your own primary residential residence or things on the personal side. So credit in real estate investing can impact your availability to, the amount of the transactional costs, how much you're going to pay on points to do a deal, what the interest rates may be, right? And it also changes with what's going on with the environment. So in a time like COVID-19, some of the real estate investors or the hard money lenders, the credit scores have gotten a little tight. So whereas they may have been like a 650, a 630, now they're like 680, right? So it can fluctuate.
Right.
So I would say you can't come to the table with like a 580, right? With a hard money lender. They're probably going to want to look to see that you're anywhere between like a 620 and a 680. But even without credit and even without a hard money lender, you can still go do real estate investing without even using your own credit if you knew exactly what you're doing.
And wouldn't also, for something like real estate investment, hard money or whatever, if somebody's a first-time investor, that I would assume that the credit being better would be much more helpful for somebody like that, because I know it plays into it either way, but if your credit is better and you're just starting out, wouldn't that also weigh a little more heavily with when they're evaluating the file? You come in with a 580, you're trying to get the whole deal financed. I want you to do the acquisition costs as well as the rehab costs, and I'm not putting anything in, and my score is a 565. I would think that the lender, this just coming from logic as a lender.
From the lender side.
Yeah. They'll be like, no, I need you to do a little bit more than that. You only got a 560 credit. You know what I mean? So like, I would think that would weigh heavily. But when you're experienced, then I would think that would be a little different. Like it would probably almost play a little bit less because you've had some experience and successful transactions by that time.
Yeah, they kind of go hand in hand. But if I had to give you like one from my experience, which one has a heavier weight, it would be experience. If you got a 720 credit score, but you've never done a deal, and I got a 650, but I done 7 to 8 deals, I'm probably going to get preferential treatment because I've done 7 to 8 deals. Yeah, and what's cool about real estate investing, you can do a lot of different things. Like for example, when you real estate invest, you never do a transaction in your own name. You do transaction in entities. So whereas Dion may close in Dion's name, when you're doing a real estate investing transaction, you're going to close in the name of the LLC, right?
Yeah.
Well, the LLC can have spaces for members. So let's say if I got a 720 credit score, a 700 credit score, but I got no deals, and the hard money lender is really tripping because I haven't done any deals. Because remember, they're looking for deals, but they also want to make good investments on their, good returns on their investment. And let's say Dion has done 6 deals. Well, I can add Dion as a member on my LLC and be able to get the deal done because she has the experience. I got the credit. Let's rock and roll. That's the beauty of the LLC, and that's the beauty of real estate investing.
Awesome. Okay. That's very enlightening.
Right. So we did have another question, which asks, would you recommend a commercial loan?
Would I recommend a commercial loan? I need them to be a little more specific.
Okay. So I think they're thinking more like commercial lending. But Dana, give us some more information on your question so so we
Yeah,
can answer. Right.
yeah. While she's doing that, again, other money sources. Like, I think the hardest thing that people have to really wrap their arms around is actually the money. Like, how do I get the money to do this? If a deal makes sense, believe you me, you'll find the money. The money in real estate investing is actually the the least important, not the least important thing, but it's almost ironically one of the last things you need to really worry about. If a deal makes sense, you will find the money to do it. If I came to you, Deanna, said, right now I got something that'll give you 10 to 12% return on your money, and you got your money sitting in the bank where you're getting probably 1%, you're
Right.
gonna listen to me. Right. You're gonna listen to me.
Right. I'm
And
like,
if what I
where do I go?
right,
Right. How do I sign up?
Right. Right.
right.
Right.
And
Here
if it
it
makes sense, what I'm
Right.
talking about doing, right, and it makes sense, and I can articulate it, you gonna give me a shot, and
Yeah.
and that's how it is. You can find people who, um, Kobe. Let's take Kobe for example. I believe that you're gonna see. You asked me about what I thought about the market. That was one of your questions offline.
Yeah.
I, I think that when we get past COVID and we start getting back to reality in terms of the market, I think that you're going to see one of the biggest transfers in wealth via real estate that we've seen in the last 20 or 30 years. And here's why: there's always a percentage of the transactions that you see on the market that happens due to foreclosures. Let's just say about 20% of the deals still happen in foreclosures. What have we seen during COVID? We've seen moratoriums on foreclosures, moratoriums
Right.
on evictions. As a housing provider, I don't have the ability to evict a non-economic tenant or a non-paying tenant, which creates a backlog because eventually these things have to kind of come to pass. So there are investors who can go to institutions and buy non-performing assets off a bank's book, off a bank's balance sheet for a discounted price. Let's just say pennies on a dollar. Let's say 60% of a dollar in this easy example. Well, my belief is that when everything starts to spell out and play out from the impact of COVID, you're gonna have this backlog of properties that are going to be available for individuals to buy, and investors who have access to capital and cash flow may be able to buy properties in neighborhoods in bulk and not get it as 60 cents on the dollar, maybe 45 to 50 cents on the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a tremendous opportunity. You got housing providers right now that's just sick of the fact that they got a 3-flat building and Pookie, Renee, and John ain't paid no rent in like
Right.
8 months. And they just want to walk away from it. All you got to do is find them, because you may be able to walk up to them and say, hey, Dion, I know you're having a hard time with this property. Let me take it over for you. Let's come up with an agreement. You become the bank, Dion. You become you do what's called seller financing, right? You sell the property to me. You become the bank. I don't need any credit. We can negotiate the terms in respect to interest rate, in respect to down payment, etc. And I take your headache away. People will be willing to do that. The trick is you just got to be diligent with your searching and prospecting.
Mm-hmm. So somebody asked also, is it wise to invest with groups? So I brought this up because maybe like what you're saying is a good time. This might be a good time for people to join or in different groups. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's always power in numbers. If I got $1, I got $1 by myself, but Lisa got $1, Dion got $1. Now we got $3, right?
Right.
I can't have my dollar.
That's okay, Curtis, because she gonna be out there looking at us, and we gonna have a whole lot of doors.
So yeah, that it's a good time for groups. But here's the thing: just like with any relationship, you gotta have synergy. You gotta be on the same mindset. You gotta have you guys gotta be moving in the same direction. So when you're working with a group, you gotta make sure that you guys have a defined goal and strategy, and you know what that looks like. And I would say when you pick up your group, don't pick up people that have the same skill set. If Dion anal, Lisa anal, and I'm anal, then you got 3 anal people. You don't need that. I need Dion. Right. I need to be administrative. I need Dion to be creative. Lisa, you be the anal one, right? Right.
Holding on to her dollar.
There you go. So, but what that does though in your group, it creates diversity. and it
Yeah.
creates balance of skill sets, right? So in real estate investing, you may need someone that likes to work with contractors. You
Yeah.
may need
Mm-hmm.
someone who's great with the creative design work. You may
Yep.
need someone that's good with the financial. They're good with analyzing the deal. You may got somebody who want to go out to the properties and vet deals. So is it good to invest to work in groups? Yeah. Group cooperation is important, but make sure that you're like-minded, go in the same direction, get some diversity in the skill sets. Great
Okay.
question.
So another question was, how many investment properties should you purchase per year?
The beauty about real estate investing is that it's a business and you approach it as such. And you can
Right.
make this as robust as you want or as small as you want. So that the answer to that question is a very intimate decision. It depends on how big you want your operation to be. What I love about real estate investing, it's a way to create generational wealth. And I
Yeah.
know you've heard this a lot from a lot of different people, but
Yeah.
it's true. I have a very profitable and thriving insurance agency. I started to real estate invest initially because it just made sense. What it's morphed into, I have a 2-year-old son. If anybody follows me on social media, they know that I love my son, Chance Jordan, aka Chance the baby.
Yes.
And and I buy real estate for him. My number of doors and my personal goal is no less than 50 doors. Why did I
Mhm.
choose 50? I chose 50 doors because I know that based upon the properties that I select, each door has a growth profit opportunity of at least $1,000. If I have 50 of them, that's $500,000 in annual income that I can lead to my son that he can build upon. Now he can
Yeah.
go freak off the money and trick off the money, or he can build upon it and make
Keep
it
going.
something that he wants. Right. But it'll be his opportunity. So for me, I've broken out a timeline on when I want to achieve this goal and what I need to do in terms of transactions per year to reach that goal. I've even taken that and broken out what do I need to do on a daily basis to help me achieve those goals to get to my ultimate goal. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
your answer is going to be based upon what you want to do as an individual.
Okay. All right.
That's awesome.
All right.
And right now, just to clarify, right now, with us being in the pandemic and everything, what has been your focus and strategy during this time? Because obviously it's way different than, the market that we were seeing prior. So have you made any shifts
Yeah,
or adjustments?
yeah. My whole my space and lane in real estate investing is primarily buy and hold. It continues right now, in my opinion, to be a seller's market. Sellers are getting top dollar in respect
yeah.
to in respect to what it is that they're looking for. Buyers are making higher bids on pieces of property, but
Yeah.
my primary lane has been buy and hold because of what I told you I wanted to create. I want to leave something to my son for generational wealth. A side note, I also believe that through rental income, it's another way of what's called passive real estate investing. And
Yeah.
if you can get your passive income to be 4 times the amount of your monthly expenses, then you've achieved some level of financial freedom. If my monthly expenses are $1,000, but I got $4,000 coming in from my rental income, I've achieved some level of financial freedom. So that's another reason why I do it. But what I've done in COVID, Lisa, to answer your question, I've become more focused in on who I'm renting to. You always have to scrutinize your tenants anyway, but I've decided to really focus in on tenants who get some kind of subsidized housing, like Section 8. Why? Because if they can't pay their portion of the rent, it won't break me in respect to my cash flow, my numbers. And then secondly, I try to find professionals who have what I call recession-proof occupations: nurses, doctors. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
nurses, teachers, law enforcement. Occupations that I don't have to pretty much worry about. They're gonna get a layoff notice. So
Right.
that's helped me. That even despite COVID, we still have 100% economic occupancy.
Awesome.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah.
There's another question about Airbnbs. Have you ever invested in Airbnbs, or their question is it wise to invest in the Airbnb?
I think it's gonna be a matter of preference. It's funny. I had a condo in Bronzeville that I just had the damnedest time trying to sell, and I had thought about Airbnb in it. Why? Because on my radio show, I had a young lady and her partner who really got into Airbnb and like heavy. They had a property and they actually created an Airbnb in Dalton, which I was like, how the hell you do that? But like who coming to the side to go stay in Dalton, like good old glamorous Dalton for a couple of days. But anyway,
right.
Hey, but she had one also in Bronzeville, and she was renting it out. She was renting it out to people for like $330 a night, and out of a 30-day calendar day, out of a calendar month, at least 20 to 25 days were occupied.
Wow.
So from a I've never done it. I've never done it personally. From what I know and what I've seen with some of my peers, is it a viable business model? Yes. One of the obvious things I see in terms of like challenges with it, it's really more hands-on. You know, like first of all, you got to really screen the individuals coming into your place a lot harder,
right?
Because you don't want people coming in who's going to like throw a party and trash the place.
Right.
You got to spend a lot of money up front in respect to decor, right? To making sure that it looks kind of like what you would do in a hotel.
Yeah.
To that point, when people leave, you got to go right back in immediately and have your cleanup game tight and repair things that, you know. So it's a little bit more hands-on than what I would like. But as I told you before, I'm a hustler. If it made sense and I had to do it, I'll get down and go do it. Yeah, I'll get down and go do it, ladies.
All right. So we did get another message, and this is a good time for you to share. They're saying, is there a step-by-step process on getting started before jumping out where it says when you do not have any connection?
Yeah. And just so you know, I did get your
fundamental.
What you say, Lisa?
Now, I was just going to say, just so you know, I did reply to that in the text and let her know, whoever that was, I let them know that you were a coach and they need to visit your site and take down your phone number too. So I put that out there.
I was gonna say step one, sign up for the book.
There you go.
Step one, grab the book, The Game, at the website www.curtisrmoney.com. And if you really want to I'm serious, but I'm playing with this also. But at the same time, sign up for the 8-week course, because true story about myself, and then I'll give you some more meat. So apologies in advance for this long-winded answer. I had bought 2 properties initially, both in Roseland, and I was doing okay. And I once upon a time I was married, and my spouse at the time was in between jobs and we're looking for something to do. So I saw this advertisement about real estate investing, and they invite you to come out to a 3 or 4 hour seminar in Maryville, Indiana. It was free. We went,
right,
and damn, it helped me. I learned some stuff that I didn't even know it, and I had at least 2 properties already. So then they invite you to this 3-day thing in Rosemont. Right. You pay $100. Right. You pay $150 to go to this 3-day thing. So I'm like, well, damn, $150, that's not gonna break me. Let's go. We went, and I'm learning stuff. And about halfway through the presentation, they make this pitch, and the pitch is for education, right? Yeah. They say, man, sign up for education, learn all the game. Now, halfway in, it's making sense. Like, it's really for me connecting the dots that I didn't know on all this other stuff. And then they hit you with the price. 3 levels, $30,000, $40,000, and $50,000. No payment plan. Cut the check. If you want it, cut the check. It's 300 people in the room, and I was like, hell no. There's no way I'm getting a check for 30 grand. No, hell no. And the things you do for love at the time, my spouse at the time needed it and was like, we can do it, and convinced me, and I reluctantly did it. Now you start adding up all these other ancillary costs of this thing: website design, business formation, marketing costs, extra coaching. You easily get to 65, 70 grand easily. And we were able to buy a property in Woodlawn for $95,000, $30,000 in rehab it. We sold it for $235,000, got all our money back. And I took that information, the information that they gave me and the things that I learned, and I'm able to talk to you guys about real estate investing in the way that I have, because I invested in myself. So step one would be invest in yourself. So that's why I created the course at a fraction of the cost. My course is $13.97 for 18 weeks. For 8 weeks. but I paid over 30 grand or more
To
to
learn,
get the
yeah.
knowledge. You don't have to do that. For a fraction of the cost, you can get on the road. So that's one thing. Education is always going to be key. If you want to be a real estate investor, you have to commit to continuous education. Let me give you some free game. Four-step system. We're trying to get ready for real estate investing. This is proprietary information I'm giving. This is the only things I give in my class. Step number one, master your local market, right?
Okay.
Invest in areas that you're familiar with. I chose Roseland because my grandmother lived in Roseland. I knew Roseland, right? I'm familiar with it. You invest in areas initially that you're familiar with. Remember, familiarity eliminates fear. It breeds confidence. So pick an area that you're familiar. So master your local market, right?
Okay.
Master the local metrics in that market. Know about the foreclosure rate. Know about the average market inventory. Know about the average price in that market. This is going to help you also. Number three, see what your competitors are doing, right? If everyone putting dormers on their property, that means they may be up to something. You need to put dormers on your property. If they got condo finishes in places that you're renting out, that means you need to step up your game to be competitive to get condo finishes. And learning about who your competitors are helps you because competitors aren't really competitors in real estate investing. Competitors are potential other investors, people you can do joint ventures with, etc. And then finally, know what's going on in terms of local building ordinances and zoning. Know what's going on in your area, right? Where they're building at. Is there new businesses coming? The new developments coming? Learn about what types of properties are acceptable in the area you're trying to invest in. Now, I ain't gave you that free game, y'all. That's free game. I didn't gave you that free game.
Well, we appreciate you. We
Listen,
appreciate that because that's what we need.
that's
We
it. Because
need those tips, right, Lisa?
we
Like
just
we
by the water cooler talking. We just by the water cooler talking. That's what we doing. We just at the
exactly,
water cooler.
exactly, and that's what it's all about. And you
Right.
know,
That was
Curtis, we
awesome.
thank you. We really do. We appreciate all the time you've given us. You really shared some good stuff with us.
Yeah.
Donita Dawkins said some good stuff.
Good
So
stuff.
we appreciate you.
Awesome.
Anybody
You
that's
have to come back
interested,
again, Curtis.
right, you gotta come back
Anytime.
again. But let's
Yeah.
first, Curtis has a book. It's called The Game. Put your book up,
Hold it
Curtis, so
up. Yeah,
everybody
there
can
you
see
go.
it. Right. So go to Amazon, go check out Curtis' book, The Game. But then if you're interested in his class, you can also register for his class on curtismonday.com, right?
CurtisRmonday.com.
Right.
curtisrmonday.com. But we're going to put it in the comments just so that you can get it, so everybody can have it. But Curtis
But
has
Dion,
definitely shared some stuff with us. Go ahead.
Dion, just a quick point. If you guys are interested in the book, go out to the website, curtisrmonday.com. If you want to know about upcoming courses, we're in our fourth week of our current class. So we're getting ready to start putting it out there for a new crop of students to come on in. You can call me at 708-505-7072. Let's see if we can get you on the road to building wealth through real estate.
All
Yay.
right. Thank you, Curtis. We appreciate you. And you guys, we're here every Wednesday at
Yeah.
6 p.m. Water Cooler Wednesday. Curtis, we have some other questions for you. You could probably see them in the chat. Maybe you take a moment to go there and answer some of the questions as well, or we could share them with you. But
Go ahead. I got
Yeah.
some time.
you
Share them.
got
I
something?
got some time. Go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
Curtis said we're not ending. He still want to.
I got time. I got time today. Go ahead.
Well, it was
Okay.
so Yolanda did. She said she had one last question. LLC B Corp.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure what the B Corp is. Most of the times when I do an LLC, I do an S corporation. The S
Yeah.
corporation allows me to be like an sort of like an employee of my own company. So I'm able to create a level of separation between me and the actual entity. But again, if got a great resource out in Las Vegas that I use to help me create my LLC. One of the reasons why that I chose Las Vegas is that they have strong corporate laws. you always want to create a veil between you and your properties, meaning that you want to make it hard for people to put lawsuits against you when you got a lot
Right.
of properties and stuff.
So
What up?
I'm gonna ask. So I think she meant versus a court. That's so she has, she was typing real quick, real fast. So I think she was trying to say LLC versus a corporation. But I have a question for you. You say you do the S series for the LLC. I heard that with the S series, you should put LLC under, so you should have an entity for every property in case someone tries to sue you, then they can only sue you for that one property and not for your whole corporation.
Yeah, I've heard that. What I've opted to do is not create a separate entity for each. I decided not to create a separate LLC for each property. I did the following two things. One, I originated my LLC in a state again that has strong corporate laws, which makes it very difficult for someone to pierce the corporate veil to find out who's the owner of the actual corporation. Secondly, I still put every property inside a land trust. So I create a separate land trust for every property that I acquire. And the primary beneficiary of the land trust is actually my corporation, my LLC rather. So then you got two layers of protection. You have a land trust for each property. So if I got a property on 123 Main Street, someone can probably figure out or create a suit against that particular owner, that particular property. They may have a difficult time finding out it's me, but if they do, it's only going to be limited to 123 Main Street because I have this other land trust for each and every single other property.
Okay, okay. And then LLC versus a regular corporation.
Yeah, real estate investing, you primarily going to use LLCs and not corporations.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard LLC S corp is the way to go. So, Curtis, man, I'm tired. I just came for a cup of water. I think I got a whole bucket.
Right? Being an overflow.
Right, it's an overflow.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you coming in on Water Cooler Wednesday this week. You really shared some great information, and we'll call you back. Don't worry.
I know, for real. Yes.
Don't
Most
worry.
definitely.
We gonna
I
call you
appreciate
back.
that, ladies. Thank you for having me out. I had a great time. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Bye, everybody.